Alright, so, last time on Tourist Trophy, we did Triumph, the first of our other 5 manufacturers in the challenge mode. And now that we have all 6 of those respective bikes, if you account for all the colour schemes that came with the bikes, it's now time for us to move on to our next manufacturer in line, which is this, MV Agusta. Since I figured it might as well be best for me to work my way upwards to finish this off. Anyways, on to MV Agusta, and where we have the Brutale 910 and the Brutale 910 racing bike. And we've got a total of 5 different colours to work through here, and we've got 3 laps at Midfield Raceway. I have no doubt in saying this is probably going to be another head-to-head, most likely. But let's get these bikes out of the way, and where, coincidentally, we are facing off against the Triumph Speed Triple. Let's go and get our bike. Since I don't think this is going to be too much trouble for me to work my way towards. So we're at Midfield Raceway, we're chasing after the Triumph Speed Triple this time. Ironically, we were chasing after the MV Agusta last time around, but this time we are chasing after the Triumph. Especially since I did ultimately get all 3 bikes from Triumph, including the 6 respective colour schemes that came from Triumph. And now, so shifting down so I can get through the S-bend without falling off, and closing in now on the leader. I'm very close to hitting the speed limiter, and that's what I've just done. I think I did that twice over. And now back up into the right-hander, and preparing to make my move to the inside. And there we go. And now we basically have to do the same thing again 5 times over to get all the colour schemes. Because unfortunately, they still count towards overall progress. As much as it may irritate some of you, but nonetheless, we have scored the MV Agusta, and now we have to do the same thing again another 4 times over, and then we can move on to the racing bike, which will hopefully be a bit easier for us to get. But either way, here it is. And now, let's go chasing after the other 4 colour variants that we get with this bike. Black and red, red and silver, plain silver, and matte black. As we have to do the same thing again, but 4 times over. And you know what? I will just roll with it. As much as I think this is going to be tiring at best, I know it's going to be something that has to be done in order for me to get to 100%. And if that's what it takes for me to get to the triple digit figures, then so be it. I am willing to risk it. If that's what it takes for me to maintain my reputation as a completist. Or, to be more specific, a thorough completist. And off the throttle, through the S-band, and on the inside for the exit. And it looks like the same thing is going to happen again. And this time I've hit the speed limiter 4 times over, heading into the first right-hander again. And through the second right-hander, and now heading through the chicane. And there we go, the bike is mine. And you know what? I think I'm gonna save this replay. Because I don't think the racing bike is really gonna give me too much details that'll really be interesting in terms of a clickbait shot. Anyways, removing all this. And now we can move on to the other 3. And now we can move on to the other 3 Brutale 910s. Since that's basically what we're doing here. Or Brutale, I should say. Because MV Agusta is Italian. But anyway, there we go. So that's now 2 910s down, and now we just have to get the other 3 910s. And not gonna waste any time, we're just gonna hop straight into it. And we'll see how we go. And doing well so far. And it looks like we're pretty much going to achieve the same thing that we achieved before. So heading through the tunnel and up through this banked corner as we're now heading down the hill. And only 4 seconds behind the Triumph as we head through the chicane and keeping it good, and as ever lifting off so I can get through the bend without falling off. And right behind the leader now, I'm steadily closing in, and this bike is mine. As I once again hit the limiter 4 times heading into turn 1, but doesn't matter because we have got bike number 3 of 5, and we still have another 2 to go. And so, without further ado, let's go and get those other 2. Because that is the main reason for what I am doing around here. So another MV Agusta Brutale 910. And now we just have to get the other 2. And this time we are riding in plain silver. So we're doing good so far. Hopefully this momentum will keep up. We are doing very well at the moment, as we have now got our first 3 colour... Damn it. I had to jinx myself. I'm pretty sure I've now wrecked myself at least 6 times during this run. Which, up to this point at least, is, well, horrible. And I know I can do a lot better than what I have been doing so far. I would hardly even consider myself to be in the same league as everyone else right now because of literally the half a dozen fuck-ups I've now made up to this point. Unless I can actually turn it around this time. Haha! You are not catching me out this time, you bastard. You've already caught me out 6 times before. I will not let that one be the 7th. If you think you're going to crash me a 7th time in a row, then you better think again. I may have my blunders every now and then, but as ever, I will not stop fighting, even if it does kill me in the end. I am still willing to be bellicose. And I think that's what that run just proved. Regardless of all the mistakes I made, I still managed to come out on top with the bike. And that was what I needed to do. Just had a sip of water there because I figured it was necessary, and now we just have one colour to blur. One colour to go. Matte black. And back at Midfield Raceway once again. Let's go and finish this shit before I wind up crashing another half a dozen times. You know what? I am gonna say nothing. Because I think it's fair to say this part of challenge mode has now made me choke at least 9 times already. And I am very fearful in saying that might become 10. Because of just how scoring these last 2 colour schemes has more or less gone for me personally. In other words, it feels like I've been doing way worse than I was to open this up. And I feel like I haven't seen the worst of it yet. Because that's kind of what's happening right now. Oh no you don't. Oh no you fucking don't. You are not catching me out this time. You've caught me out enough times already. I will not let you catch me out again. I will literally shoot my own tyres off. If that's what it takes for me to not choke there. and unsurprisingly, the run itself ends with me wrecking right at the end. Honestly, I think that's basically just the game pretty much slapping me in the face and more or less just giving me a reality check to basically say, okay, you've had your fun, now time to die. And that's more or less what I did 9 times before I actually got those last 2 colour schemes. And that was more or less what happened. But either way, it doesn't matter now because I did get all the colour schemes in the end. The game may have won its portion of battles, but I still won the damn war. And now we move on to Twin Ring Motegi for 2 laps. I'm pretty sure we'll be facing off against the Triumph again, and probably the Yamaha MT-01 if I'm not mistaken, since those were the... Oh, okay. So this time we've got a Yamaha VMAX and another MV Agusta Brutale 910 as our competition here. Fortunately, however, scoring the racing bikes is not quite as hard as scoring the super bikes, or in other words, the 1000cc plus bikes. Oh no you don't. I'm not about to take my failed attempts up to 10. Even though you might find a way of getting me up to there anyway, but not this time. I don't think anyway. On the brakes a little bit there, but either way, I still get through and I have the lead. And there we go, bike is mine. And all that took was 1 minute and 3 seconds. Well, 1 minute and 4 seconds if we're being more specific, but either way, that was MV Agusta in challenge mode. And just to be absolutely sure that we have a replay saved, yes we do, and now we shall move on to claiming our 6th and final bike from MV Agusta, with the inclusion of all the colour schemes that I got before. Anyway, here it is. MV Agusta Brutale 910 Racing Modify. And putting on my traditional number as ever. Alright. That's now MV Agusta done. And that's now 7 of the 10 manufacturers now complete. And now we can move on. So, we are now up to 192 bikes. And in terms of our MV Agustas, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's right. And now our status moves up to 46.1%. So I think we gained 0.7% of progress, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think that's how much we've gained. And next time, we will be moving on to Ducati for manufacturer number 8 in challenge mode.